Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lives, all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got...
Hey everybody, we are back. Great to be here. If you have not, please like, share, and subscribe. I am TK, the host of TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep, and we are locked and loaded with the whole team here this week. Of course, it's the first of the month, so definitely have to have our helpful therapy sessions about all the stuff that's going on in the world. So, of course, we have Larnika here tonight.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me back again. It needs to be a first of the month thing. It kind of seemed like it, huh?
It is. It pretty much is kind of first of the month.
I should just clear my calendar for every first Friday and let that just be what it is, child.
Yeah, wow, we have our own first
good
Friday.
to me.
Okay.
There it is. So I'm down with it, most definitely.
Okay.
Yes. All right. DJ with his little orange and blue on, looking like he got on them. You like you got a swimmer's cap on.
Yeah, this is my feel good color. I wear orange and blue because it makes me feel warm and it makes me feel safe. So what's going on, everybody? What's up? Larnika, how are you? Good to see you again. I love the smile, per usual, you know.
Pushing.
I see. Oh, and I want to tell you, congratulations on all the progress.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you
Yes,
kindly. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I be checking you out doing your thing. I love it. I love it. I love the
grind. I just keep moving.
Yeah.
I love thank you.
You gotta do though, keep moving. So I agree. I love it. I love seeing when your posts and stuff come up. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate
what's up. Definitely. All right, and DA, I think DA thing is wearing black every show now.
Nah, it's just on my HBCU shirts, all of them black.
Gotcha.
Yo.
That's what's up.
Yo, oh, the negro.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. All right. Well, tonight's topic is about domestic violence awareness. Sadly, this is another one of those things that is ever more coming out. I guess you could say, you know, back then, they always say back then it was happening, but because we didn't have social media, everybody didn't know what was going on. So, but now guess what? As times evolve, we do have social media. So it's all being out here in the open, to say. So we are definitely just going to jump in. If you have any questions, this is your first time viewing, please post them in the comments. We will go through them as we go through the show. Anything else you may have to say, even if you just say hello, comments is there to do that. And we are going to jump into this segment. So, Larnika, what is domestic violence?
Domestic violence and intimate partner violence involves abuse. It could be emotional. It could be physical abuse. It's a power struggle, basically. It could be an intimate relationship. It could actually be family relationship. Anybody that have any power or authority over you could be considered domestic violence. So I did a talk some years back, and I had to do some research for it. And they had where even your doctor could be abusive to you. So it's not just, we think, okay, my boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case may be, That's it. But it could be, any relationship has a potential to have violence in it.
Wow. Oh, okay. That kind of blew me with the doctor part, but I mean, you can kind of see it as well, because now we having cameras in the doctor's office, and we didn't seen some very interesting things happen.
Some sick stuff happens a lot in a lot of places, and we don't even know. Definitely.
Yeah. You almost gotta have like that club buddy, you go to the club, we come together, we leave together, you dang near the person in the room,
Mhm.
and just be like all eyes on deck and making sure everything is good these days. So yeah, that's crazy.
So
Um
even in the space of like friends that might be bullies and stuff like that, is that an aspect of domestic violence?
Yes, what you might think is your friend being bullying, or even if the controlling aspect of it. If I don't know, I was listening to something on the radio this morning actually, and they were talking about friends. Some girl fell out with her friend because she didn't want her to dress better than she did for her birthday party. So if you're trying to control your friends, I mean that's just one little aspect of it, but
Right.
if you are trying to control what your friends wear, if you're trying to control who your friends are friends with, sometimes people just want to be the only friend you got. And so they may intimidate you. They may, if you confide in your friend and tell them stuff and you think, okay, this is my girl, and she using that against you in some kind of way. Well, why don't you come hang out with us? Oh, I don't want to hang out tonight. Oh, you doing that because your mom did some junk when you was a kid. What?
Oh,
Yeah. And that could be emotionally abusive. They ain't gotta hit you. That could
Right.
be emotionally abusive, any mental abuse, financial abuse, maybe taking uh control of the money and kind of giving you a little bit at a time. So you be codependent on them for financial things. We always go out and I pay. Well, why don't you do this? You need me to be able to do this for you. You wouldn't be able to do this if I wasn't your friend or partner, whatever the case may be.
Wow. Okay.
wow. This is wow. Okay.
Controlling people, controlling, sometimes we think that, oh, it's cute, they just jealous, they don't want nobody else to be for me to be anybody else's friend, or oh, they really like me, they don't want nobody else to talk to me. Yeah, look out for some of that stuff. Those are some telltale signs that something ain't right. If we're friends, you could be friends with 100 other people in the room, and hey, I know I'm your friend, and that's all that matters. It shouldn't be all of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So jumping into it's crazy. You when we touch base as we typically do, and was like, all right, this today for the show. What we going with? It's the first thing you popped up. It was like, let's hit it. Not
Let's
knowing
get it.
the next day or so there would be a situation where a 17-year-old girl was killed by the 21-year-old boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah. And that is really sad. I don't know um really anything about that particular situation in depth. I just know a child is not here anymore. You know, and that's one of, I think, maybe two or three that has happened in Baytown within the last couple of months.
Oh,
There was a lady in her 30s. I believe her ex-husband showed up to her new boyfriend's place and she's dead. I didn't hear the rest of it to hear whatever the outcome of it, because I think he was at large, and it was someone, was it him, was it not him, but everybody that knew her knew it was him. So hearing this a lot, we are seeing a lot of murder suicides. Somebody killed themselves, killed the either ex or current, or maybe somebody was threatening to leave and they killed them and killed themselves, killed the family. When you typically see somebody who has a murder suicide, the whole family dead. It was some domestic violence going on. It was some domestic stuff. I don't know why they would kill their children. Maybe they just wanted everybody to die. Maybe they didn't want any witnesses, or maybe they was just like, this it. Hey, if I can't have my family, nobody gonna have them, and they take everybody out. So this is something that has been going on a lot that I've noticed here lately. And that 17-year-old, that was really, really sad, to hear about that situation. And that is some stuff just should not be.
Yeah, man, it's crazy to hear when those situations happen, but it's even crazier when you're hearing these younger kids that are
And
going
it's
through dealing with it.
yes, I was talking with a teacher today, and she was saying about we needed to have a group to talk about healthy relationships. I said, well, actually, we're supposed to have a group talking about healthy relationships. It's just been kind of hard when you have a lot of crisis going on to get them, but it's definitely in the works. But she was saying how kids are they talk, the kids will talk to their teachers, or they will talk in front of the teachers, thinking that the teachers ain't listening. But I mean, child, we in the room with y'all, what y'all think? And so they'll say stuff like, "Oh, my boy," the girls might say, "Oh, my boyfriend don't want me talking to any of the boys." Like just verbalizing, "Hey, how you doing?" None of that. And she asked him, "Well, how do you feel with them talking to any other girls?" "Oh, I don't want them to talk to any other girls either." So you live in a world where it's just you and your boyfriend, or you and your partner. Y'all can't have friendships. Plenty of times you'll see, and that doesn't necessarily mean people are being abusive when I don't want you to be friends with your ex. Now that might be a little wavering, but really, if you trust who you are with, you don't have to worry about who they talking to or not talking to. If that person is with you, they are with you, and you don't have to control their going in and coming out. You don't have to control their lives for a person to be with you. So the kids pick up what they see. They pick up what they see. Plenty times in the household, you'll have those types of situations. You have situations where parents are going through their stuff. There may be domestic violence in the home. There may be intimate partner violence going on. That is a learned behavior. That kind of segues into the main thing I wanted to talk about. Why do people do it? If y'all ready to go there, if y'all ready to go there, we can go there on that one.
Yeah, that was actually a question that I was going to ask, and I'm
Yeah, it
glad
was.
that you went there. So we're there now. So let's go.
We there. All right. As we all know, power and control, you know, is a cycle of abuse that happens. A lot of times, you'll have the, how you call it, the love bombing. Oh, I love you. I love you. I'm sweet. Sweet to you. I'm the best thing, and all this other stuff. And, they got you close. And if they feel like, okay, that's not working, then I have to be aggressive. I have to do something. It's about that control. You know, People ask, and I don't know, allegedly, because I don't need nobody coming suing me. Why did he do that stuff to them girls? If that is indeed true, when he could have had any girl would have wanted to date him or do all that, control, power and control. Why do people have to do anything like that? Power control. Another thing is a learned behavior. Excuse me. A lot of times you will have, like I said, that could be going on in the household. That manipulation, that control. We don't realize it, but parents can mentally control their kids.
Mm.
A lot of mental abuse, a lot of physical abuse occurs between family, parent, and a child. And so that behavior is learned. And so if I have somebody I love, because my parents supposed to love me and they're doing that. So if I got somebody I love, I'm dating, that's what my parents do to me. So I need to do the same thing to them because it seems normal. That's what we do. That's how you express love. That's what some people feel.
So
Some-
just for clarification purpose, I want to make sure I understand correctly. So it's a learned behavior, right? So when we're
Mm-hmm.
in the household with some sort of domestic abuse and we see the other person tolerating it or staying, then we think it's okay. And in our mind, that's how we keep people.
Yes, because that's all you know.
Okay.
That's all, and until you come across another household, like I've talked to many people that thought this was how family dynamics are supposed to be. You know, the dad goes drink, come home, slap the mama. The mama says how much she loved the daddy. The daddy might cry and apologize and say, I love you too. Next weekend, same thing. Friday night, he gonna drink, come back, beat the mama. I love you too. I'm sorry, bam, here we go. And so they think,
Yeah.
although it sounds like really, but if that's all you know,
That's the programming.
that's what you think it is. Tolerating. You
Yeah.
know, the stuff that we've experienced and that we've seen as children typically shows up in our relationships because it has been an example. It has been modeled to us. Parents are not saying, hey, do this like this. Now some might, because you never know. Some may, you'll see men telling their boys, you want to keep a woman, this how you're supposed to treat your woman. You're supposed to do this here. Some might do that. They may do that. But in other situations, people are living. People are living and people are doing what they do, and children watching. Even if you're watching TV. Oh, well, they ain't watching TV no more. If you streaming something, okay, like how old am I?
Right.
If they're streaming something, they might be doing that. If you look at I hated to see them people. What's the people name? Krishan and Blueface. Thank the Lord they in jail. Well, the one of them got out, but the other one in jail. Praise God. Okay, yeah, I said it because that was a hot mess. And I'm like, if these children think this is what a relationship is supposed to look like, I'm holding him down. He beating the hell out of you. What is the matter? And she was, off too. So I mean, I don't know. But those examples out there, and young folks are impressionable. Oh, well, they popular. They on the people inviting them to go on the red carpets here and there and everything else. So this must be what relationships supposed to look like. Maybe, so people have said that how influential pop culture can be. And I remember when I was young, I was like, oh no, it's not. As I've gotten older, hell yeah, it is.
It is.
Especially if you don't have anyone telling you anything differently.
Yeah.
If you have a mentor or somebody out there, or example of a healthy relationship somewhere, that tends to kind of make you feel like, well, okay, I see this is what I'm going through, but then it comes to, do I believe I can have that? And we'll get to that part later, as to the victim. But excuse me, some other things are psychological factors. Some of these folks that are abusive have some mental health issues. Either they were abused themselves and it's trauma, unresolved trauma. A lot of it could be their own insecurity or abandonment issues, um, narcissism, borderline personality disorder. Um, yeah, there's stuff out there. We talk about this one, a narcissist, that one, a narcissist. You know, um, very well could be. Very well could be. Not to say that all uh, narcissists or people with narcissistic traits are necessarily abusive. But there's a possibility that the abusers have narcissistic traits. That makes sense.
Yes.
And it's one that we kind of tend to overlook. The flip side of that, of the person that has never received attention, love, and everything, and then somebody give it to them, and they get hooked on it.
That's the love bombing, right? Correct. Is that what
Not
we call?
no, it's not like love. So love bombing is like if me and T was together and I just I just finished whooping her ass. Now all of a sudden I'm buying us a whole bunch of gifts and all that stuff and blah 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 blah. What I'm talking about is nobody has ever showed me love. Nobody has ever showed me kindness and everything. And I meet somebody who do, and it's something that I have never experienced before, and I get hooked on not knowing it's not realizing the feeling is what I'm hooked on. I think I'm hooked on that person. So I may get overbearing. Now that's when I start love bombing, and it might be too much for that person. They be like, you know what? I need some space. I can't deal with that because in my head, I'm never gonna get this again. So first thing I think of is like Nika said earlier is if I can't have you, ain't nobody gonna have you. So that's another part that's and I think that's where a lot of especially this younger generation, I believe that's where a lot of those reactions come from because they so used to the blue face and the chick when they get some quality, something that's quality, it's addictive. They hooked on it. And they're like, okay, she like they say, she down for me, she down for me, she down for me. And she's like, you know what? I can't deal with your trauma. And now he's thinking in his head, I ain't gonna get that again. And he don't want to let it go.
Yeah, yeah. There's the insecurity.
And I say I'm talking about in general because
Yeah.
it's some women like that too.
Oh, definitely that. Definitely women that possessiveness, controlling because they don't want to lose what they have, and it's a lack of self esteem. If this the only person I can get, and I want to make certain they don't leave, you can either be a hell of a people pleaser or you could become controlling and abusive. Either way is manipulating the person to stay. If somebody want to be with you, they're gonna be with you, and if they don't, they will not. The same way you got this person, you'll get somebody else. But I think that in society, it always tells us that you have to be paired up. You have to have somebody. God don't want us to be alone, all this other stuff. And so we tend to find folk, child. We find them. They're not always the best people for us. Maybe we're not always the best people for them. Excuse me, and that's okay. It just is what it is. But acceptance of those things, it takes a lot of work when you have broken people, basically. You have broken people that feel that relationship is going to fix whatever it is I got going on, validate me, whatever it is that I need, that relationship is going to do that for me. And when things don't turn out the way they think it would be, they'd rather not be alone. So they end up doing some things. And that goes both ways. Maybe I'm staying in a relationship that is very toxic and very unhealthy because I feel like this is the best that I'm going to get. They really love me because we didn't been through it. Maybe I did something wrong that has them upset with me and hitting me, or they, maybe I shouldn't have talked to this guy or girl and told them XYZ because now they're mad. It wouldn't be, and oh, baby, the brainwashing is for real. The brainwashing and manipulation is for real. But typically, what happens is on both ends, and I'm not victim blaming. It just is what it is. It's no blame on the victim. It's just identifying the why. The why on both ends. Some self-esteem issues, some things that are going on. Being used to that, being used to seeing that in the household, or on whatever you watching. Excuse me. It becomes common. It becomes a norm. You know. And people substance abuse plays a role in the abuser as well. um, some cultural things a lot of times, and I will say men, well, I'll say men and I'll say masculinity, period, because you have females who have that masculine role, and there seems to be this idea of dominance over women, over your partner, over masculinity dominates femininity, if that makes sense. No matter what it shows up in or as, that seems to be the heteronormative ideology that masculinity dominates. There's dominance with any masculinity over any femininity. Feminine stuff, people, whatever, is supposed to be submissive. And so sometimes people look at that role and play that up to, I have to control. Pay the bills. That's the dominance. Pay the bills. Don't you ain't got to do all that if that's what you want to do. Hey,
But you got to be careful with that too, because I've seen this happen. People can use finances as a
yes.
way of abuse. Like I've literally had to go to a soldier's house and take his credit card because he left his family in the house with no money, no food, no nothing, and went to Vegas with his homeboys.
Mm.
And how we found out is
Wow.
the kid's school called us and was like, he hasn't been to school in like a week. And they were asking, and they kept telling him, oh, it's because his dad was deployed and he was home worried about something. I'm like, this motherfucker is on vacation. What you mean he deployed? And so we had to, in the army, we had to start digging. And that's what we found out. Like, that's how he controlled her. He controlled every, like his paycheck, her paycheck. He took all of it. He paid the bills and everything. But if he didn't like what she did or what she did, she wouldn't get no money that week or stuff like that. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. That financial abuse, that aspect of it
Yeah. But
is
that's
horrible.
like I call that the quiet one because no, a lot of folks you don't hear about that a lot. You don't hear about the financial abuse. You hear about somebody getting their ass whipped or something like that, but you don't hear about them saying, okay, uh, you're not gonna eat today because you did XYZ. Yeah, you don't hear about that.
And I think a lot of of the situations similar to the one that DA just spoke of, the abuser may not even realize that that's a form of abuse. Like sometimes people get so numb to situations that that's just how they operate, and it's okay because I'm not physically abusing you,
Yeah,
and everything should be okay.
yep, yeah. Cause that was his response. He said, "I didn't put my hands on her." I'm like, bro, yeah. He went to jail though for it.
That's good. And in turn, the victim may not realize that they're being abused in that situation
Yeah.
because they're codependent. Well, my
Yes,
husband is
yes,
supposed to work. That's he
yes,
makes money. That's the role it's supposed to
yes.
be. And if he say we ain't doing this, then I guess we ain't doing it because that dominance and that submissiveness. That part. That
Mhm.
part.
And as we was talking about, a lot of times people grow up in that type of household. It's like that the most common thing you would hear from their response is, if he ain't hitting me, he don't love me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
heard
that
that
was
too.
on something. Pop culture
Mm-hmm.
too. Maybe I didn't have that in my house. Let's say I didn't have that in my house. I grew up, my parents didn't do that. Maybe they just was like whatever, but I can watch social media or whatever's on TV or a movie, and that seemed to be glamorized. That may be something that people are saying. There's something that they're doing, and well, maybe that's what relationships are supposed to be like, or maybe the type of relationship I want. That's what they're doing. Case in point, I think it was an Instagram. I think it originated on TikTok, but I don't have a TikTok. I got too many exes. I let them stay over there and play. I stay on the stuff where I can control what I need to control. And so, they reshare on Instagram or whatever. And so it was two lesbians, a stud in the film. And I think I don't follow them, but I just saw this particular post where apparently the stud must had the more masculine one must have hit the girl or did something, and people were probably putting in the comments, "Oh, you wrong, you wrong." But then the girl came back, "Oh, I do stuff to her too. I do stuff. I did this, and we do that to each other." Girl, what is
Yeah,
wrong? That okay, but no, y'all toxic. I love her.
yeah,
You might, but that's some bullshit right there. And
yeah,
so maybe if I don't. I might think that's what same-sex relationships are supposed to look like. Like, okay, that might not have been in my house, but I'm trying to figure out life, and I'm seeing these popular people because apparently when I brought it to my Heartbreak Hotel group, they're like, oh yeah, they always on there with that. I'm like, really? So people watch that.
Yep. I've heard that,
Yeah.
and I've heard the if they not, I'm gonna use my color purple reference. If they not jumping up and down on me, they don't love me. I'm like, okay. I think that's a form of abuse, but the manipulative part, because they think they gotta be clapping cheeks all the time or giving up the booty to get love, and I'm just like, no.
And that all boils down to a lot of probably trauma,
Mm-hmm.
really abandonment issues,
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of issues. You know, what does healthy love look like? When we had healthy love on TV, I'm still gonna say TV, damn it, because I'm just that old. When we had healthy love on TV, you know, that was a thing. People sang about it. The Martin and Gina kind of love, but then didn't Martin hit Gina in real life? And they ended up, you know, she got off the show on Martin. I don't know. But we saw, for the most part, it was presented. You know, Florida and James, they was in the ghetto, as the people say. It was good times, child. They loved each other. I don't know that we see that. You know, this raunchy, abusive, manipulative stuff is what people are modeling to the world that relationships are supposed to look like.
Let's
You
let's
know,
keep let's keep it 100. It's not people, it's our community. Our community, it seems like we like drama for whatever reason. We like, if it ain't dramatic, it ain't good. And I
I
think that's
disagree 100% with that one. It's not just our.
yeah.
You said a whole lot more in the brown community and the YT community. We just are more intuitive to our people, so that's what's going to catch our eye. But it's not just a black thing. It happens across the board, man. And the
mm,
reason why I say that is because I have, my kids are part of the brown community. Their mother is Hispanic, and I was married to her for almost 15 years. And the machismo or the macho in the brown community, the controlling thing, is a whole lot more aggressive than it is in the black community.
really.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, I do know, just from being in education, when I was a teacher, I had a lot of Hispanic students, and I remember, like, if the boys cut up, you know, we call the parents. That was part of our disciplinary thing. You got to call the parent, do all this before you could write a referral. So I called parents and I get them down there. The mom would be there, and it was like, well, when the dad comes, I'll tell the dad to do whatever. I'm like, well, sis, you here, you know, you're not gonna do whatever. And like, there was some disrespect for some of the boys to their moms, and it was said, oh, when the father, they don't do that to the father. I don't, you know, and I don't know. I know in the black culture, I ain't finna talk crazy to my mama or my daddy, because hell, my mama hit me first before my daddy would even come on.
Facts.
You know, and not to, you know, over stereotype, but I have seen where that's been a thing, where the men handle the stuff. If I'm asking the mom, you know, can we do whatever? I gotta wait till the father. Wait till the father comes back from work or whatever. I gotta talk to the father. I can't just make a decision. Is that good or bad? I don't know. But I don't know. You would think in immediate situations you could make a decision about what's happening with your child. Maybe that's what's supposed to be done. You know, so my mama said what she was gonna do and then talk to my daddy about it later. I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
maybe that
I
wasn't
see that. I
right. I
have
don't know.
a lot. Yeah, I've seen that a lot, in that culture as working with kids. Um, it's the mama typically doesn't deal much of the discipline. Everything is really kind of with both kids, whether male, female. Usually, dad is the person, but 9 out of 10, dad, the kid, the little girl got daddy wrapped around the finger. I seen that actually happen today. And I'm like,
Mhm.
so she out here knocking hell out of people and doing this and this and this. Oh, okay, we'll talk. It's okay. Want ice cream?
Child, that's a
Did I
whole
just
nother
tell you she not?
conversation right there. that's a
I'm like,
that's
she
a
just
whole
knocked the
nother.
hell out of people. Did you not hear me tell you that? So yeah, but then like you said, the boy daddy definitely handles the boys, but it's still not much. Usually, depending, I'll say it's about a little split. Usually, it there's that 9 out of 10 chance it really gets dismissed when they do it. Is
Yeah.
that's what it's like. That's what boys do. That's they're supposed to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that right there, what you guys were just saying, leads to potential domestic violence, domestic violent people and victims?
I think it's just learned. I'm not going to categorize it, to one particular race of people. It's just a learned behavior, and that's just me.
No, no, no.
Um,
I mean, like how you were saying, like how you said the girl got the daddy wrapped around his finger, but he'll discipline the boy.
yeah, the reason why I say it's learned because in that particular household, I mean, I literally saw where because he's a boy, he's able to get away with so much more than the daughter.
I get what you saying though, DA. You saying is he gonna start hating women because a sister could, is that what you saying? That's what I'm hearing. Because a sister can do what she want, that shows you that a girl could do what she want. But then if he do something, then he's in trouble. So he may grow up being hard on women because it might be some trauma, and he's projecting the fact that, oh, y'all can't just do what y'all want. I'm gonna control this narrative since I had no control with my own daddy.
Right.
That's possible. That's always. I mean,
And then the
well,
fact that, like, since the daughter is manipulating the father,
Mhm.
she has manipulation. What is it? Manipulation tendencies. You see what I'm saying?
could be, could
Or
be.
did I just go too deep with it? I just probably went too deep with it. No.
I mean, could she manipulate men and become abusive? It depends on how deep she is with it. But it could be, now how abusive is it to manipulate somebody to get something that you want, versus controlling a situation to where I got what I want. You can't do nothing else. You can't go nowhere else. It has to be always about me and nobody else, and isolating them and doing all these other things. Or if those things accompany that situation, and I would say yes. But just to manipulate a person for something that you want, I wouldn't necessarily say that's abusive, is manipulation. But if all the other factors to control comes into that, then yeah, I don't know that that necessarily is. I mean, everybody's different and every situation is different. But that set a person up to think they could do what they want. Yeah, if you teach a person that they just got to do this and that to be able to get what they want, okay, so they're going to continue that. And then when they can't get what they want, that's when the problem probably is going to come in, and it could turn into anything. Anything's possible. Anything is indeed possible.
And I also want to throw that out there because I know typically when the conversation of domestic violence comes up, it's always a man putting his hands on a woman, but there's a situation where a lot of women is putting their hands on men.
Yes. We don't hear about those a lot, I think, because of the shame and guilt. Before, like everybody says, social media, we didn't hear about none of this much. They would have some movies come out, or maybe you might have a talk show, somebody came out. Now you hear about it more because of social media, but a lot of men, um, excuse me, may not come forward because of the shame. I'm trying to remember. It was a situation where a guy was being abused by a woman, And the police were called, and they kind of was like, whatever, because they figured he was a guy. They're looking at male and female, but I think the lady was like way bigger than him or something, and it was, but they just looked at the, because I think that was the guy. I'm trying to remember where I was with this situation, with this scenario, child. It's really happened somewhere. I can't put my finger on it, but I remember talking to the guy, and he was like, because I'm a guy, they didn't take it seriously, but she was like a heavier, bigger than him, you know. But they didn't look at the power part of it. They just looked at the fact that he was a male, you know. And so you do have those things. You have that. You have same-sex relationships, where you have that abuse that occurs a lot. I remember when I some years back, I was at an event, and they were talking about it, and it was male on male, and the guy said when he called the police, you know, they didn't really know who to take, because they're like, okay, it's two guys, but clearly, you know, they were bloodied and all this stuff. I think nobody got arrested, but it was like, y'all need to leave. So somebody leave the house or something like that. It wasn't necessarily taking it seriously if it was probably a male and female, and the female was bloodied, and you know, whatever the case may be, you know. But if you think back historically, you know, why does this still exist? That was a time where men, and I'm gonna go back to men only because it's been popularized by male female domestic violence because of a power situation, but men could beat their wives. Women couldn't say nothing. You couldn't call the police. You couldn't leave. You couldn't really do nothing, because it was almost like it was a thing, like it was a societal norm that your husband can do to you whatever it is that he desires because he's your husband.
Yep, that's where the rule of thumb come from. Y'all didn't know about that? It used to be the rule of thumb is that you can beat your wife, your significant other, with anything up to the size of your thumb. That's where the rule of thumb comes. Look it up. It shocked the hell out of me too. That's where a
Wow.
lot of the switches and shit come from. Like when they used to make you go get your switch, that's where that shit come from.
Man, say.
Look it up.
You say that now, TK. You say that nowadays.
Look here, sir. I wasn't even trying to go get my switch when Grandma said go get a switch.
I'm just saying.
Longest walk ever.
I'm just saying.
We ain't had no switch. My mom got anything she could put her hands on.
Yeah.
Them Daniel Green slippers.
Switch off that tree. Say what?
I'm just saying.
I would have been grateful for a switch for. Anyways.
In a lot of aspects, that switch sound real good because then you go get the little flimsy one. And you used to pick the flimsy one. They be like, nope, go get a bigger one. That ain't big enough.
Nah, they used to get them and weave them together.
Ooh.
Stitch them together. Like, goddamn. Y'all getting too creative with this shit.
I ain't have one then.
Yeah.
I get that. My mama didn't have time to think that hard to go get nothing. She just grabbed whatever was near. And that was it.
But yeah, back to, like, yeah, that's where that comes from. Where it was when it was legal.
Yeah. And so now with everything the way it is, you know, now we're aware. We have domestic violence hotlines. We have PSAs that come out. We have people that share their stories. Tina Turner came out with "What's Love Got to Do with It?" Yep, I'm really that old. That was like to me, that was like a anthem. Like, hey, you don't have to deal with that. You know, it showed where anybody could be a possible victim to that, and anyone could be a survivor. That you could survive that you could, you know, have the power to leave. Because many times people ask, why do people stay? They was just saying this, that girl dead now. I'm gonna go back to Diddy because that's what's in the news. Why did she stay? You know, why did Cassie stay? What the other one name that passed away? Kim Porter. Why did she stay? And of course you hear the people, oh, she wanted the fame. She wanted this and that. I don't know what them people wanted. I can't say that. But if you look at some of the things, some of the reasons why victims stay, you have fear of the abuser. The love has turned into fear. If you got somebody that has controlled you so much, manipulated you so much, have you in a financial deficit, you trying to leave and they beating it. Look at that. Look at Diddy, the girl on video. She trying to sneak out of there. And he woke up and beat the hell out of her. And nobody came to her rescue. What does that tell a person? I'm stuck. Nobody gonna save me. Nobody gonna do nothing. I remember they would have I don't remember what that was. It were shows or whatever, and they would have the woman talking to the mother. Oh, he hit me. Oh, it's okay. Your daddy hit me too. Or look at the money you got. Deal with the abuse because of the stuff you can get from staying in that relationship. It was almost like just ignore it and keep going. Get what you can because of the. Now I'm not saying that with these women, but just a general thing that people would say, oh, but or if sometimes people would complain, people period might talk to their friends like, I don't like when they do this or I don't like that. Oh, you just hard on people. Oh, that's because you've been single for so long. Y'all, you know what? Don't listen to nobody. You in that relationship with these people. And if it's something going on that you don't like, you can leave. You don't need validation from your friends or anybody else to tell you whether you should stay or go. If you feel like you need to get the hell up on out of there, get out of there. We're going to talk about a safety plan in a little bit. But a lot of times people will try to reach out and other people, though they don't see it, because one thing I did have that conversation with that teacher today is she was in an abusive relationship. And she said about her ex-husband was the perfect employee. He was the perfect friend. He was perfection to everybody else. But when they were at home, he was abusive as hell. And it took us some years to be able to get out of that situation.
That's
So if
how
I'm
most of them
talking
are.
to, say it again.
That's how most of them are.
Yeah.
Outside, they look like it's picture perfect. And behind them closed doors, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
this is another one. That, more common nowadays because people are aware. So, like, say if a person has driver's anxiety or some sort of mental, they'll try to use that to hold it over their heads and manipulate them in that aspect. So in that space, it does not make it easy for a person to leave because that dependency and it's it can be out of control, and I'm thinking a lot of that is why a lot of people stay because they depend on them in ways that we don't readily see. So it's easy to tell somebody to leave, but then I can't drive because of anxiety, and I mean, you know where I'm going, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are different factors. A lot of it is that codependency. You know, I'm an independent person. It's real easy for me to say I wouldn't do that, but I found myself in an abusive relationship. I wasn't fit. Well, I got hit one time, but it wasn't like a physical ongoing. It was more emotional manipulation. And I didn't realize that that's what was happening. I talk about my healing journey, about how I was, broken at one point, a lot of trauma that I didn't really know was affecting me the way it was affecting me. And I'm trying to be in a relationship and I'm with somebody I definitely should not have been with for various reasons. But I'm trying to prove to myself that I'm worthy of love. And so I dealt with that shit for too long. It took my friends who could see what was going on to be like, look at this. I remember one of my friends was like, read this definition of I think it was like narcissism abuse. It was something. And then finally the light bulb came on and it was like, well, damn, I am in this situation. And I felt embarrassed because it's like I'm a whole therapist. How did I get myself in this shit? Like, for real. Older than the person. I'm like, how the hell did I get myself in this? But sometimes it happens. But I know for myself, I had self-esteem issues. I had a lot of different stuff going on with me. And as I reflect on that, I can understand how I allowed myself to even get in that. You know, um, definitely easy to get out because we didn't live together. We didn't have all that stuff going on. You know, they were in a whole nother state, and it was just a matter of block. That's why I say real strongly and confidently, I will block you. Okay. I had to get to that point. You will be blocked. Go straight to hell. Okay. That's what it is. But a lot of times people have different things. You know, they have kids. The financial dependency, they can't drive. Because they've been isolated. You know, maybe
Yes.
they were, oh, I'm gonna show you how to do this, I'm gonna teach you how to do this, and they never do. And they purposely have them dependent on them because of the power to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
You know, you may have some legal things. I remember it was like people who had maybe gotten out of jail or something. They were talking about this, just the demographics, to where whomever they were with now would be like, oh, nobody gonna want you. You're a convicted felon. You've done this. You done just holding stuff above over their head, like, you know, nobody gonna want to deal with you. Or if they know they doing something in the house, I don't know. Folks do what they do in their house. I'm gonna tell everybody they think you this, but you really this. So they are, you know, they use a lot of tactics to try to hold things over them, so they be afraid or ashamed or don't want to go to anybody because I don't want nobody to know, you know, that I've been snorting coke in the house and I'm a choir director or some junk. I don't know, you know. They'll find some stuff on them.
I don't know if you can say that, but it's for
That went
educational
left
purposes
quick.
only.
Well, but, you
Educational
know,
purposes.
folks do what they do. I don't.
Jeez,
They do what they do.
that went left quick.
Now, that was the most extreme thing I could think of. You the choir director.
You got an imagination on your ass. God damn.
Oh,
Hey, it ain't no imagination. We used to have a musician back in the day.
We had one too.
Let's move on.
I'm just saying what she said.
It ain't far
Pastor
fetched.
snort.
Yep, not at all.
Well, people put on everybody. I won't say everybody, but folks had a closets with things in there.
Yeah.
And people will find those things that they could manipulate you and, you know, use that against you to try to get what they want and control you, and, you know, all that stuff there. So those are some typical reasons. Sometimes they don't know that there is help out there. They don't know that there are like shelters and things that you can go to, because if I'm financially dependent, I got my kids, I don't have a job, I don't barely have whatever. Where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do? I can't go to my family because typically the family might be tired of the stuff that's going on and be like, you need to leave. And the partner would be like, see, your family don't like me. And then you done got into it with your family behind this person. And now your family not really dealing with you.
Yeah.
And so people feel like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where a lot of shelters are, mainly because they don't publicize the location, because people do flee from these relationships. I remember I went to one, was there Fort Bend County, I think, with a group. They were doing community service, and we were there feeding them and giving them some toiletries and stuff. And you know me, I like to post everything. And they were like, no, don't post, you know, where you at, because some folks looking for them. And sure enough, I talked with a couple folks there. The kids could be there at that particular shelter, but I think it was maybe like a temporary placement until they moved them somewhere else, or wherever they may have come from, other cities or states, and they were able to find means to help them to go. I remember I talked to one lady, you know, I think she had moved about 3 times because her husband or partner, whatever they were, was threatening to kill her, and he had tried to kill her before. and the police, got her, and they were able to take her because I think the police the police were called a lot, and the police had kind of gotten to the point where, look, if you don't come with us, you're gonna die, kind of thing. And so they took her over there. I don't even think that was the county she originated from. I think she got moved, like I said. And they changed the phone numbers because they don't want them tracing. And that's the even more intense part. If I can't have you, nobody else can. If they do get out of there, sometimes the people come after them. If I leave that relationship, they don't want me to leave. They may come after me and I got to go into hiding. I can imagine. I couldn't imagine what that life would be like. Having to constantly look over your shoulder because you don't know if this person is coming for you or not. And they really want to come for you because they didn't want you to leave. So it's that one that makes me want to stay single. I'm like, I ain't finna mess with you. Oh, and it goes all around. All around, excuse me.
Definitely.
Yeah, I worked at a shelter like that when I was in college. And it's interesting to see that interaction because you can see them. They come in. It's almost like witness protection because they change everything. Like they can't talk to their family. They can't talk to their friends. If they go somewhere, they have to go out in like a group of like 3 or more, stuff like that. When they move around, and I was just like, wow. And I didn't realize how hostile it was until one day one of the I still remember her name. Her name was Sarah. I call her Silly Sarah because she would always say some of the corniest shit. And I'd be like, but anyway, fast forward, she ran in the building. And we was like, okay, she just being silly. And she said, oh my God, he found me, he found me, he found me. And the next thing you know, he came in and the police came in right behind him. And he was like, where's she at? Where's she at? And I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. Where's she at? I know that motherfucker. And he just went on a rant. And the police had to jump on him. I was like, glad I didn't have to put my paws on him. But that was my last day there because come to find out he had a pistol. I was like, yep. Time to go.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That is horrible. So
yeah, definitely that. And I think as we was talking about that too, social media plays a big part. I was just talking to some younger people yesterday, and with social media, a lot of times emphasizes on these relationships that look like they're just a perfect picture, and you not knowing that it look good out here and on social media, but at the house, homegirl probably getting mollywalked to death and halfway leaving. That little extra makeup, them blendings that she's doing is just blending because knock out them bruises so nobody can see what she's really going through. So a lot of times when these relationships are glorified, that is perfection, there's a good chance that they're not.
oh yeah.
I have a question, Laura Nika. So, being aware, right, of how rapid the domestic violence stuff is running through, like, and being aware, what are some of the ways that we can pay attention to some of the signs, say our friends, family, loved ones, just like, is there any particular things that we can just pay attention to see if a person that we love is possibly in a domestic violence situation?
Yeah, you can if they're injured, a lot of times they hide, like you say, covering them with the makeup, putting the makeup on. If you know your friend and loved one, something is different, something's going on. Like, oh, what's wrong with your arm or something? Oh, girl, I've I don't know, dog bit me or whatever the case may be.
I
Some
threw
excuse
myself
that
off
don't
the
make no
stairs.
sense. There you go. I'm thinking about good times with Penny and that Iron Child. Lord have mercy. But
Oh,
stuff like,
I
you
need you
know,
to stop
just
watching Good Times.
I need you to
but
stop
you know,
going showing your
John
age.
Amos just died. I'm having flashbacks. John Amos died. I didn't have, you know, James and died again. I'm having flashbacks. But you know, physical signs, you can, you know, what is going on with them? Are they going to the hospital a lot for unexplained things? I don't know that the hospitals call for adults with injuries, but I know they call for children with injuries. They will, you know, make some kind of CPS or police report for children. So I don't know what I don't, I might, and that's a good question. I'm gonna have to find out. You know, are they obligated? I know if you tell the doctor that you're going through something, you know, they can call the police for you if you're afraid to, you know, whatever with that. But if they have some injuries, some delayed medical care, maybe they didn't go see about themselves right away. You know, they waited a while and then they went. When they couldn't take care of it themselves, they finally went. Um, Behavior changes. They could withdraw. Maybe y'all used to hang out or talk or whatever family functions. Now they ain't going. Well, why you ain't coming to the Thanksgiving? Oh, he didn't want to come or she didn't want to come, so I just didn't go. You find yourselves not seeing them often, you know, because they've withdrawn. Maybe their mood has changed. Maybe they're depressed or anxious, real moody, real kind of like, you know, irritated. A lot of times they'll show us the emotions that they won't show their partners. So if you know, you got your family member and they just always mad, well, damn, what's wrong? Stuff could possibly be. Excuse me. Perhaps maybe they start drinking or using some drugs or something to try to cope.
Indulging, yeah.
They would never touch this stuff, and now here they go. You know, low self-esteem. Maybe they've changed how they dress. Maybe they would dress, you know, whatever, how they, you know, now they all covered up. They ain't trying to go nowhere. Oh, you know, things are different because a lot of times people will try to control how they look. You know, I don't want nobody looking at you. You got to cover up. Don't have nothing with a button unbuttoning your shirt or something. You know, it'll be some things like that. Um, and so mainly those things. If it's just, you know, sometimes people can get in a relationship and friendship dynamics change. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're being abused. Sometimes they want to pay more attention to the partner than the friends. How good is that? I don't know. You know, that might have its own issues, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're being abused. But if, you know, things have a drastic change or even a gradual change that's drastic, um, after this person shows up, you're not really seeing them like that. Um, that could be some red flags right there for you.
Yeah. And I also think like one of the ones that may be important to pay attention to, like say if I ask T a question and but he always answers for her.
Yes,
Like he don't have a voice, and I think that one we need to pay more attention in that space as well.
yes. And if they are paying more attention to what the partner's reactions are to things, you know,
Mm,
even if they start making excuses, if you talk to them like, why they acting like that? Oh, they okay, you know, it's okay, you know, they all right, kind of thing, like something wrong, you know, making excuses for them, covering for them, get mad at you behind them, you know,
yeah.
it's control, definitely some control somewhere in that relationship. And
Yeah.
the
One
toughest
of the
part
biggest,
is,
uh,
go ahead, what you
one
say?
of the crazy things I think I've been seeing lately is when the female comes for to fill out an application or for an interview, they're in talk.
Uh-huh. Oh
Mm.
Lord.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
I've seen that quite, and they're like they coming in with them. Well, she's here for an interview. She can talk for herself, and either she's filling out the application, and he's right on her. Make sure you do this right. Don't forget that. Put the you know like the whole little aggressive like she trying to answer the questions, and he's in the interview with her, and he answering the
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, he need to be
She
at
ain't
work.
saying that.
For real, right?
No,
He need to be working
them
somewhere.
no, they
What's
wasn't.
wrong
Them
with this
people
picture?
wasn't working. We had one girl that used to work with us, and her dude came by every day, like to check and make sure she was at work.
And some people think that's
It was
cute.
like,
It's truly not.
yeah, no,
Or let me bring you
no.
to work.
It was,
I
even
can
as
drive
being
myself.
working in the environment, it was creepy.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it was definitely creepy. And I think the one time that it was really like, girl, you better get somewhere, is he had a child, his own child. It wasn't hers, nothing. They'd only been dating. He allowed the child, it was a boy, to disrespect her, but he was doing what the dad was doing to her. So one particular time, the school had called for the little boy to be picked up because he wasn't feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
And he called her. She wasn't answering the phone. With the job, we're not supposed to have, your cell phones. So he finally got through to her, and he was like, "Why is the call? Why they blowing up my phone? They said they couldn't get to you. You should have been answering the phone." And she was like, "Well, we can't have our phones. You know that." He didn't care. So they were like, "Well, he need to be picked up." He basically told her, "You better get to that school before I do. If not, it's gonna be a problem."
It's sad. Excuse me.
But you know
It's
what's
really
sadder
sad.
though?
What's that?
You know what's sadder though? And this goes to this links into the help plan too. And is if somebody steps in, there's a chance that she's gonna defend that dude over somebody who's trying to help her out get out of that
Mhm.
I
situation.
was gonna say that too. Yep.
Hell yeah. It's truly a tough situation because a person would have to see it for themselves and have to want to leave for themselves or their children. Chances are, if they have children involved and there may be a concern that the children will be hurt, they may get the strength to leave for the sake of the children. But they have been worked on so much. You're right. If you had to tell him like, he don't treat you right, she'll go tell him. He'd be like, get them out of your life. Don't get in that situation. you know, the
I'll be
main
coming to try
thing,
to jump on you. Why are you talking to that? Hold on.
yeah, yeah. The main thing you can do if you do see your loved one, your friend, or loved one in that type of situation, you can be there for them, help provide. If you see it, they hadn't said nothing, you know, provide some resources kind of in a discreet way, or just let them know, if you ever need me, I'm here for you. Chances are they might tell you what's going on. They might have a time when it's like, I don't know what I want to do. And they may just spill it all to you and let you know what's happening, but they ain't ready to leave yet. They're not ready to leave yet. In
Mhm.
that respect, I wouldn't necessarily beg them to leave. Give them resources. Let them know when you decide to leave, this is what you can do. Have a safety plan. Maybe you are watching and you in this situation and you want to leave and you don't know how to leave. Come up with a safety plan. You know, save you some money if you can get some money. Get you, a ride or something, somebody. Look up these shelters. They do have 1-800 numbers, the domestic violence hotline. I'm trying to see if I got one in here. The domestic violence hotline. If you at work, sneak
I
at
got
work,
the
and
number
try to
right
call
there.
it. You got it going? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Call a
So,
hotline.
so
See what's in your area. Because every area, like I said, that one place we went there because we were, volunteering. But honestly, I couldn't, if I had to run for myself, I don't know where to, around here in Baytown, where I would go if I had to seek a shelter. So calling that hotline, what they do is, help you find a safety plan, let you know what resources are available. You can do those things because you do not have to stay in that relationship. It's
Not at all.
hard. It's a lot going on. It's real tough. I was in a domestic violence support group on Facebook. They kind of quiet. They say stuff here and there. But I kind of observe and maybe put some feedback. But a lot of times, women were saying they left like 12 times. They left 12 times, kept coming back, kept going back. They'll go back. They'll leave, they'll go back. They'll leave, they'll go back until they finally just really had enough. They may get the courts involved, and a lot of times the sad part is it's not a clean break. You know, you done left him and he might be like, well, good, go on. He mad because he lost control. That's that's like setting him on fire. He's lost that control. So a lot of legal stuff that doesn't mean don't go. Just know you gotta fight for your life. And there is help out there. Literally, there is help out there. Help is out there. Talk to somebody. Get somebody. There's resources out there to be able to get the help that you need because you deserve better. Love does not hurt. Love does not control. Society will tell us all this jab and have these crazy people on TV talking this mess. That's not love. You got to learn to love yourself and to be able to gather the strength to be able to get on out of there. To get out of there. I've come across some folks that I know their situation is not, 100. And all I can do is pray for them, be a listening ear, kind of let them know, like, you deserve better. But I've learned not to push. I'm just kind of like, okay. But I am praying like hard, Lord Jesus, please fix that situation or get them out of there. And that's all I can do because I don't want to lose that connection with them. I don't want to lose that contact with them. I want to be seen as a peaceful person. So if I got a bust of N-word ass, I'm gonna be in the right place to be able to do that. Yeah, it's one of them. If I got to, I'm gonna be in the right place at the right time if I got to. So,
sometimes that's what you got to do.
Hey, so I my heart and prayers to people who are in this situation, people who don't know how to get out, people who have lost loved ones to domestic violence, intimate partner violence. It's truly sad, and like we said, social media allows us to see it. Probably more. It's happened. It's been happening. If laws were in place where people could do it, people just weren't talking about it. But now we're talking about it. Now we got the stuff on there. If somebody come to you and they say this is going on, believe them. Let the courts figure it out. If whatever you believe them, if they come in, they saying so and so hit me, I need some help. Oh, well, they nice. What you mean? Oh, she tripping. Help them people in that situation. That ain't for you to decide if they tripping or not. If they saying this is what's happening in that moment, we gotta just because you never know. You never know.
True that. Couple of weeks ago, I watched listened to an episode actually for the R Spot. It's Ayanla's podcast, and she has 2 episodes on there about how to make your exit plan.
Yeah. The main thing is to know what resources are around you. Pay attention to their behavior. If Friday nights they're gonna go drink and come back ready to fight, when they go and drink and get out of there, make a plan. Sometimes we people may leave and they really had no thought or plan. They may leave, and that can have them to come back because they didn't have XYZ set up. But have a plan. Talk to somebody. If there's a safe person. The good thing about this situation, there are resources and there is help out there. You just have to know where to look. There are safe homes and safe places that you can go. It's just a point of getting there. You know, if you have a financial deficit and you don't have any money to catch the bus or anything like that, call that 1-800 number, because they have resources. They have, even if it's the police coming to get you, to take you to the shelter. Like the lady I talked to over there, the police, you know, they were called, but they were like, look, we're going to take you somewhere because we keep getting called and this ain't getting no better. They intervened in that situation. But there are resources out there. But have that plan. Those abusers typically have a pattern of behavior, and whenever they on the down or they knocked out or whatever they got going on, get on out of there. If it's a situation with children, try to make certain that your children are somewhere safe. Maybe they went to spend a night at the friend house. If they can go, if they're allowed to do that, go spend a night at the friend and let the people know, like, this is what we're doing. We gonna get out of here. And go. Even if you don't have a plan, you getting beat up, run to the neighbor if you can, run to the police station. Everybody got, well, I don't say everybody got a phone, but sometimes they keep the phones from you. Try to call for help, immediately get out of there.
Somebody had a question and asked, what do they need to take with them?
I would say take whatever you can. If you have some ID or something, take that. Sometimes you don't need to take nothing with you. If you can go straight to the shelter, they help you get all that stuff. Some people leave with just the clothes on their back and they run. But let me see. I think they were saying something like essentials. If you have any money, bring you some money with you, your documents, if you have an ID, birth certificate, marriage license, social security card, any financial information, insurance papers. Try to start gathering those things and put them somewhere hidden, so you can get out of there with that. Any money, have that with you, a bag of essentials, just something something small. You're not gonna, if you start packing up your house, they're gonna see that.
Yeah.
If you just take the necessities, like I said, some people just go and they can accumulate that stuff. That's why we were bringing things to that shelter, because we know some people just go. They don't have nothing, or the people say you leave, but you ain't taking that kind of situation. And so we brought them some things so they can accumulate things again, because stuff, you can buy stuff. You can buy you some underwears and some clothes for the children. You can't buy nobody life back. Yeah. You can't get that back. So don't worry about all that other stuff. You got your ID. People know who you are. Hell, that'd be enough for me right there. Let me get on out of there and get to a shelter or something. Definitely. They were saying if you have pets, again, put the pet somewhere. Take some shelters not gonna necessarily take the pets. I don't know. But if you know somewhere where you could bring the pet, people be concerned about their pets, child. I don't know. I ain't gonna knock the people in their pets, but have a plan for the pet. And they have legal advocates in many places. Just call that 1-800 number. If you like at the job and they follow you at work or some junk like that, try to change up. You might have to solicit some help. I know we don't want folk in our business, but we might have to reach out to the people we work with for some help. I know they would rather rectify that situation and have them people coming up there clowning. Yeah. And they do have resources. If you go to your HR on your job too, they do have resources and different things available for you to be able to call as well, depending on where you're working at. So yeah, come up with a plan. Now for the aggressor. I ain't gonna throw them away, because them people need some help, because what's gonna happen is you leave, and if you make it out and they're not the type that's going, or at least at that time, they're not gonna go after you. They're gonna date somebody else. And it might be worse for that person. That's not your fault. That's on them. All that's on them. It's not your fault. many times they don't realize what they're doing because of all their different issues. But by chance, maybe there was somebody who was dating someone, married to them, whatever, and they became abusive because they were afraid to lose them and they thought controlling the situation was going to help. And they realized, you know what? It surely didn't. I lost somebody that I really cared about and really cared about me, and I need to help myself. What can I do? One thing the abuser can do is acknowledge the problem. Accountability. I did this. I hit them. I shouldn't have hit them. I financially manipulated them. I used sex, whatever they did to abuse or control their partner. Acknowledge it and take accountability. Don't be like, oh, you made me. You ain't make a damn thing. You made yourself. Take accountability. Seek professional help. My door is open. I might talk some shit, but if you coming for some help, we're gonna do what we can to help you. If you still blaming people, I can't help you. But if I got a problem, I got anger, I've been doing this, and it's not how I want to be. This is not what I want. I do want a healthy relationship. Come talk to somebody. Counseling. Go to anger management. They do have the better intervention program. A lot of times you do go to court for that domestic violence. They're gonna make you take them classes anyway. So be proactive. Go on and take them classes and stop hitting people. Go on and take the classes. A lot of times they said they don't have conflict resolution skills and communication skills. Maybe they saw the parents or whoever get mad, fight, and start hitting each other. Have the children fight now. Somebody told them something, they fighting. It's like, well, dang, and they recording and putting it on social media. So we did this generation. That's what they doing, child. Anybody say something, they want to fight. They done beat the bus driver. Oh, yeah, I say in the Caribbean, they said y'all ain't riding that bus. Y'all better tell your mama to come get y'all. Y'all not gonna. But violence, people have resorted to violence. Any resolution, you did something, I got an issue with you, we gonna fight. And so learning some conflict resolution skills, communication skills, learning how to communicate your emotions as opposed to being aggressive and fighting about it. Address underlying mental health issues. There might be some trauma, unresolved trauma. It might be some abandonment issues somewhere. Avoiding avoiding attachment. And, those are things that can be worked on. People can heal. If you don't want to be abusive, you don't want to have this anger and all this other stuff, you can heal that. There are ways that we can help you work through that. Break that control cycle. It's anxiety. The person you think they're gonna leave you get anxious. You want to do stuff to try to control them and make them stay. The main thing is acknowledging that you have an issue and willing to seek the help for it. So there's help out there for the abuser as well if they want it. Even for the children, if you are a parent. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Keep going.
If you got children in the house, let's say you did get out, and the partner gone by their way. Oh yeah, I don't went to court or whatever. Get your children some help. Because your children has watched all this stuff, even though parents might say, oh, they was in another room, he never hit me in front of them. Them children know what's going on. And guess what? It's going to be a repeated cycle. Either they're going to get with somebody doing that to them or they're going to become the person doing it. Possibly. I don't overgeneralize stuff. That's a strong possibility. Get your kids some help. They dealing with stuff. Stuff changed for them. That's hard on them too. They got to grow up and try to figure out what relationships supposed to be like and am I secure in this and all this because of stuff that's happened. Get some help. Excuse me. And when you get out, seek you a therapist also. It's a lot. Get you some help.
Definitely. So somebody asked, should they have pictures of the person, of the abuser, if they're making an escape?
I don't think you necessarily need pictures of them to be able to warn authorities or.
I guess so. Yeah, or others.
I think that if you making a police report, you don't necessarily need a picture. They could pull them up.
Okay.
You have their information and they date of birth. They'll be able to find out who it is. If you just have a picture, bring it with you, but don't try to go take pictures and make matters worse.
No, don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that. They also asked, would you suggest fighting back?
I would say get out. Get out. Get out of that situation. Just get out of this because you can assert your authority. I don't know. You may feel more confident in that situation. My thing is save yourself because at this state, people been just doing some stuff. Now, granted, every domestic violence situation does not lead to death. Okay, it does not, but it seems like there's been a trend. Now I wouldn't stand up there and just let somebody hit me, but I wouldn't necessarily become the aggressor either. I would get out of that situation instead of having all of that because, okay, you fight back. Does that mean you stand? Because if I got to fight, whatever that's toxic. I don't want a relationship where we got to fight. If I got to put my hands on you and you got to put your hands on me, it's time for us to go. That's never cool. Excuse me.
Definitely. I agree with that. There was this show I watched on Netflix. The Worst Ex Ever.
Ooh,
Baby.
I saw some of that.
That mug will make you want to be single for the rest of your life.
I ain't gonna date nobody. I might get some fish. They can't bite you and they ain't gonna poop all over the place. Because I
And
think they was
the
meeting
crazy
people on the
part,
dating apps.
yeah, and the crazy part was just like you said had happened. Once he got to the point where he was done with this person, he just went on to the next person. He did some crazy stuff to her, went on to the next person. It was a cycle. He just kept going to the next until he finally got bad enough. Well, hell, he was wanted by the police. Like it was a whole big thing where they were searching for the dude. And he had went and hid up on one of the other girls' house. And it was living under that while they was looking for him. So like he had just had a heart. He was just making his impression, like just going down the line. This one finally get away. He got this one. It was crazy as hell, but it'll make you really want to be single.
Yeah, and really look at the situation. If somebody has been abusive to you, they were probably abusive to the person before you and probably will be abusive to the person after you. That's something that just don't go away. A lot of times the victim think it's them, like I did something. No, baby, you didn't do nothing. Something wrong with them. Something going on with them that have that kind of behavior. You got folk, excuse me, you got folk that's just, I don't know, to the extreme of aggression. You got some people with some serious mental health issues. I don't know. I don't know if it's because we can go from point A to B easily nowadays. If I decide I want to go to Georgia, I could get up and go to Georgia. If somebody who got some mental health problems and crazy and ready to kill people decide they want to go to Georgia, they can get up and just go to Georgia.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like accessibility to places, people, places, and things. Things are more accessible. There was a point where you couldn't just go where you needed to go because you may not have had the means. Now it seems like that makes sense. Things are more accessible. So if I'm some kind of sociopath or a psychopath, I can get around with ease. I can go work anywhere. I can go date anybody. I can do all these things with ease. I can put on some of the. Now I saw one of them episodes. I'm like, how y'all? Now when the dude first was dating the girls, he was a bartender or something. He looked
Yep.
all right. But after a while, he looked beat up. I'm like, why? What's wrong? Not the victim blame at all, but just he looked like something was wrong. You know, in the beginning, yeah, he seemed, you know, I guess as his mental illness progressed, because these people were mentally ill to be able to do that. We have to, again, when we meet people, you know, I'm always talking about them dating apps because I ain't messing with them. But nevertheless, whatever your choice of meeting someone to date, you have to take time to truly get to know these people, because you don't know what's going on, and they're going to present themselves in the best quality that they can, but give it time, because the stuff gonna come out. It will indeed come out, just like that lady. Who the fuck did I marry? Risa Tisa. That man was talking to himself all that time. She thought he was on the phone. Okay, had she gave that a little bit more time, she would, all the stuff she discovered, she could have discovered without marrying him and having him in her house and all that stuff. But we live and we learn. We live and we learn. We you know, we want relationships so bad at times. We don't take the time to truly get to know a person. Take your time. Take your time. Watch out. Be vigilant. Take your time, because whatever is hidden will come out. You can't hide for too long. It's gonna come out. Red flags are real. Mm-mm. You want to know what real love looks like? They got a lot of books, a lot of good stuff out there that you can read. Love yourself. If nobody can't love me the way I love myself, then y'all need to keep going. I had to learn that the hard way. I don't want nobody who can't give me what I'm giving myself. And if I don't love myself and I'm looking for somebody else to love me the way that I should be loving myself, I'm opening myself up for anything. Anything, because I don't know what the love is. I don't know what it's like to be loved, and I need to experience that with loving myself before I can even look for anybody to do anything. That part.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Well, we
That
about
was
to
it.
hit
I'm
over
going to
that hour and
PetSmart to get me some fish. That's what I'm going to do. Damn dogs will bite you and the cats being scratchy. I'm getting me some fish. I'm just going to be in here.
I feel you. I definitely feel you. Oh wow. Well, if anybody needs the 1-800 number is scrolling. Also, is posted in the comments, as well as the one for texting for the domestic violence hotline. So if you need it, it is there. Um, we're going to close out because we didn't hit over an hour and a half. So you know it was real tonight. So DA, you got an outro for tonight, sir?
Um, yeah, like just like first of all, it's been said over and over and over tonight. Know who you dealing with. Understand who you dealing with. Um, and don't be afraid to walk away. Too many times we get stuck in situations where we know we shouldn't be there. We know we shouldn't be doing the things that we're doing because we're afraid to walk away. We're afraid to be looked at as a failure. If somebody's manipulating you or physically abusing you, you're not a failure. That's a failure on their part. It's time for you to go. Um, and at times it's okay to not like and express how you feel. It's not okay for somebody to tee off and retaliate because of how you feel. So if you're in that situation, just leave. I know it's easier said than done, but look on the bright side. It's better to be uncomfortable for a little bit than to be 10 toes up with a toe tag. So that's it.
All right. DJ?
I don't have a lot to say, but I'll just share this quote that's been sitting with me for a couple of weeks. It's one of my favorite quotes, but the quote is, "We understand life backwards, but we live life forward."
That's what's up. I'm gonna have to jot that down as well. So I like that. Definitely. All right, Larnika.
The main thing I want to say for those people who had questions, for those people who are watching who can truly identify with everything that was said, and you might be in a situation where, excuse me, you want to get out, or you may even just see some red flags. It's okay to leave. You deserve better. That is not love. Love yourself. Make certain that you're safe, your children are safe if you have children. Get some help. There is help out there. You do not have to deal with it. I know people may have told you some things otherwise that you may feel like that's the best that you can do. Nobody's going to love you. You may be ashamed because how did I get myself into this? I always talk about other people. I would never. Now you find yourself in that situation. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. The main thing is you recognize it. If something we said today made you really reflect on a relationship that you're in, you didn't think it was nothing before, and now you see that a lot of stuff we said check off some boxes, it's okay to get some help. Relationships are not perfect, but relationships should not hurt. No, love yourself. If you need some support, we have a trauma and grief support group that is free. If you just need some motivation to be able to get out of there, they got a lot of support groups around there. They got social media groups. A lot of times if you say stuff, they can kind of direct you as well. If you feel like, I don't know if I want to call, if you want to make you a fake page and get on something, do what you got to do to help yourself, honey. Do what you got to do. You can survive this. You truly can. Allow people to help you get out of this situation. And you are loved. I love you. If nobody else do, if you don't feel that way, just know that you are loved. That's all I got, John.
Shoot, y'all done said a mouthful, but definitely the numbers are posted if that you need, if you are in that space, and this has um, shown you some things that you do need to have an exit plan, strategy, whatever. Hope we provided you some tools to start working on your exit, um, for you to be safe and to leave this situation. Um, Again, like Lanika said, know that you are loved. Um, we will not have an episode on next week because it is the gruesome twosome's birthday weekend, and they're gonna be out there in them streets.
Uh-oh.
It is, ain't it? Oh shit!
I
What
just
you mean
wondering why
it is? You
we.
don't know?
I'm just
I mean,
wondering why we gotta be gruesome.
I don't know.
Gruesome twosome.
Yeah, I'll be there. I gotta find something to do.
sir,
Hmm.
I thought you was supposed to be gone. You was gonna.
Ooh,
Never mind. You,
that was last week.
you.
I was at a game last Friday. Yeah, I was at that
Wow.
Miami Virginia Tech game. Holy crap, that was crazy.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Appreciate
you, I
you.
appreciate that. But you could tell me
I don't know
again
how
next
that
week.
happened.
Okay. To the Libras.
Yeah, damn. I don't know
Yeah.
how that happened, but yes. So we will not have a show on Friday due to, like I said, all of us actually have engagements um, next week. So that's what's up. Um, so be safe. You can always go back and watch old episodes. Just a FYI. Even if you listen to it at work, we on Spotify and all the other apps, so you can have your little earpiece in your ear and listen on the cool. So, but definitely be safe. And we will see y'all not next week, but the week after. And y'all have a great night and a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move.